given the fact that I had some very deep insecurities about how I looked growing up and even in my adult life, I could have never imagined sitting without any makeup on my face in front of a camera and making a video. Yet here I am today doing exactly that. And all of this has been possible only because of all the information that I got and all the things that I understood while doing the research that I needed to do in order to make this video. I had no plans of talking about this particular topic in this video. I actually had some other topic in mind initially. However, I met this friend of my husband's for the very first time, and he happened to share something with us that really sort of started a conversation, which actually impacted me a lot and really drove me to think about the concepts of ugliness and beauty and also the standards of beauty in today's day and age. This friend of my husband's had actually met with a pretty serious accident, and that accident led to an injury on his nose and some part of his face, basically. So, this friend basically shared that he does not really like clicking his pictures anymore or posting them online. Obviously, because of the scar that he now had on his face. This friend of ours then went on to, show us pictures that he had recently clicked and pictures that he thinks are good according to him. And he said that, he likes those pictures because his facial deformity or the scar on his face is not visible in those pictures at all. Strangely enough, he was not noticing that there was no proper lighting at all in those pictures, or that, in some of the pictures, he was actually standing against the light. If the scars on his face are not visible in a photograph, then it's a good photograph. He had completely stopped looking at pictures as a whole. And his brain was now entirely focused on this one thing, which had become his insecurity. The next day, my husband basically shared that he realized that he does something very similar. Now, my husband has a deviated septum, which means that his nose looks a little crooked. And it has been an insecurity of his since his teenage. So any photograph in which, let's say, his nose is looking crooked, or let's say, his hairline is looking not so perfect, is a bad photograph according to him, and he would never want to post it online. However, I would, tell him that, oh, you look fantastic in this picture, and it would be a stunning photograph according to me. But his brain would only focus on this one thing that was his insecurity, which is a crooked nose or, probably an imperfect hairline, and term it as a bad photograph. Now, this basically got me thinking about myself. Now, I had a huge insecurity about my skin color growing up because even though I was born fair in complexion, I started swimming at a very young age. I was 5 years old when I started swimming, and I went on to swim for about 9 years of my life. My swimming timing used to be from 3 p.m. in the afternoon till 5 p.m. in the evening, and I would do it the entire summer, and I continued doing it for like 9 years in a row. Along with that, I was a very athletic kid, so I used to play outside a lot. I used to be out and about in the sun all the time. And this obviously led to, a lot of tanning and darkening of my skin. I remember my teachers in school once saying that I looked very Haryanvi because of my skin color. Other than this, I also remember, one of my relatives telling my mother that who is going to marry her? Like, she's so dark. And because I was bullied and taunted and discriminated against because of my skin color, I developed this intense insecurity about my skin color. Now, along with this, I had another insecurity, which was about my lip color. I get pigmented lips, not just me, but my brother as well. We get pigmented lips from our father's side. And there have been instances when people have literally, asked me that, do you smoke? And I obviously didn't, because I was a teenager and I definitely wasn't smoking. I still don't smoke. But those instances basically, created another insecurity in me, which was about my lip color. So today, although my skin is back to how it was when I was a baby, today, when I click a photograph, if I'm looking tanned in it or dark in it, let's say because of the lighting even, And if my lips are looking very pigmented, it is a bad photograph according to me. I would never want to post it. No matter how many people tell me that I look stunning in that particular photograph, I just would consider it to be bad. Constantly thinking that you're ugly can lead to low self esteem, and the negative self talk and self doubt can contribute to anxiety and depression. It can also lead to avoidance of social situations, relationships, or events due to the fear of judgment or rejection, impacting an individual's life quality. It can lead to self sabotaging behaviors like procrastination, substance abuse, or self destructive habits. It can lead to mental health conditions such as body dysmorphia. People may turn to unhealthy ways of coping, such as overexercising or disordered eating, and also cause strained relationships with loved ones. The stress caused from the negative self talk can cause physical symptoms like disturbed sleep, headaches, stomach issues, and low immunity. There are so many ways in which thinking that you're ugly or the insecurity about how one looks can impact a person. I personally feel that there is one side effect that is the worst of all, and that is untapped potential and unrealized dreams. Now this friend, even though he has been a theater actor for many years, and he is fantastic at his craft, he shared how the thought of people judging him and people thinking that how come a man like him who has a scar on his face even think that he can become an actor. My husband shared how, because he has recently put on some weight and he no longer looks how men are expected to look nowadays, how this has basically stopped him from taking the required steps towards his dreams. I mean, he has a passion project that requires him to be on a public platform, but his insecurities have been pulling him back. It took me 8 long years to actually make and post my very first YouTube video, because I always used to think that there is something or the other about me that is not good enough as per the current standards of beauty. I had started putting on weight, I was developing acne, my hair was falling out, and all of that only added to my already existing insecurities. I think the self confidence that we think we lacked when we wanted to ask a question in that science class, or when we wanted to share that amazing insight or idea during a team meeting, when we stop ourselves from getting physically or emotionally intimate with a person who has the potential to become our soulmate or dream partner, when we stop ourselves from sharing our gifts, our talents, our passions, our art, whatever, with the world. Maybe we always had that self confidence in us. We just lost a considerable part of it the first time somebody made us feel that we were not good enough, likable enough, or lovable enough because of how we looked. This whole instance basically really made me scratch my head, and I just started thinking that, who the hell decided what is beautiful and what is ugly? Like, how were these standards even set? Who defined or laid out these rules about beauty and ugliness? What you think is beautiful, who taught you that? Who told you that that thing is beautiful and something else isn't? And what you think is ugly, who told you that? Let's say you say, well, my parents told me this or my friends told me this. Okay, but then who taught them that that thing is beautiful or not, or if that thing is ugly? Through my research, of course, I got to know that beauty standards have existed since ancient times. But nowadays, people are a lot more bothered by them and are concerned with them than they were in the past. There have been many factors that have contributed to the setting up of these beauty standards. However, there's one factor in particular that has played the most significant role, and that is media and advertising. Media, through constant repetition via subliminal messages, images, advertisements, etc., they basically teach us and feed us about what is beautiful and what is ugly. Media, advertising, beauty companies, they all come together and set these beauty standards for their own benefit. They basically create insecurities in our minds and then use our insecurities against us. We are basically fooled by being told that there are certain products that we can use to become more desirable, to become more attractive, likable, etc., etc. That is how they basically keep, their multi-billion-dollar beauty businesses running. Now, once I understood that, okay, media is what is basically responsible for setting these absolutely rubbish and unrealistic beauty standards today, I then started doing some research about what is it that people notice the first time they see another person's photograph. And what I found out was that our brains are actually wired to process other people or their faces as a whole the first time we see them. And as we continue to look at them, we start to notice individual features. While we notice the facial features, structure, height, weight, and skin color of a person the first time we see them, our brains also notice the body language and posture of a person, how confident and self assured or not they appear to be. We notice their hair, the color, styling, and presentation of it. We also notice their attire and style, their clothing, accessories, how well groomed they are, and their overall aesthetic. We also notice whether a person is making eye contact or avoiding it. Do they have a warm smile on their face, and also their energy and enthusiasm. However, I found this very interesting piece of information along with this information. And that was what a person sees in another person is dependent largely on the mindset of the person who is looking at the other person or looking at another person's photographs. So this basically means that a person with a positive mindset is actually more likely to look at what is more beautiful or nice about, the person in front of them. However, a person with a negative mindset, their brain is more likely to focus on what is not good about a person's appearance. Along with this, I found another very, very interesting piece of information. It's a theory in psychology which is called the projection theory. This theory basically says that whenever a person looks at another person, if they comment negatively about them or their appearance or some feature in their body or face, it basically shows the feature that they are commenting on in a negative way is basically something that they are themselves insecure about. On the other hand, if a person looks at another person and comments positively about, let's say, their appearance or some particular aspect of their appearance, then that is because, the feature that they're complimenting is basically a feature that they have in themselves and like, or a feature that they wish they had. Let's say I look at you and I comment about some part of your body, for example, your nose. And I say that, oh, you have a crooked nose, or that your nose is very broad. I am doing this only because I personally do not like that feature in my own self. I probably am insecure about my own nose, which is why when I'm looking at you, my brain is focusing on your nose and I am making a negative comment about it. Similarly, if I look at your face and comment about your eyes and I say that, oh, you have such beautiful big eyes, that would be because either I have eyes that I absolutely like, or because I want to have it, I aspire to have that feature. Now, this information completely blew my mind. This was the one piece of information that basically gave me the confidence to actually not care about other people's judgment of how I look. This basically goes on to prove that beauty is extremely subjective and beauty standards are in fact nonsense, because one person will like a certain feature of your physical appearance and the other will dislike it, and none of it will have anything to do with that feature of yours, and everything to do with the mindset of the person who is judging you and their own physical insecurity and desire for or likeness of the same feature in themselves. Now, because beauty is so damn subjective, making yourself feel miserable by thinking and believing that you're ugly and not good enough is pointless and an absolute waste of your time, your energy, your potential, your talent, happiness, opportunities, confidence, joy, and life. First thing is to understand the power of redefining and accepting. What I did was that I redefined what ugly meant. I now no longer follow the Google definition of ugly. I mean, if you actually Google what ugly means, the definition is going to feel very discouraging and very disheartening. I don't go by that definition. I don't think Google is correct in terms of everything. I have given an alternate definition to ugly, according to which being ugly basically means that you are not meeting some particular standard of beauty. That's it. For example, if I have pigmented lips, I'm not meeting a certain standard of how beautiful lips should be. The second thing that I did was accept that, okay, fine, yes, there is something about me that is not as per the current standard of beauty. Redefining the word ugly took away the power and the negative energy or charge this word carried for me. This way, if I'm ever reminded that I have some ugly feature or body part because my own negative thoughts are saying so or because someone else is saying so, my brain comprehends it as not meeting some beauty standard rather than the Google definition of unpleasant to look at or not attractive. This also made it easier for me to accept the non standard aspects of my physical appearance exactly as they are. And acceptance in turn helped my mental health and well being by taking away the constant pressure to change how I look in order to meet a certain standard. What we think is beautiful, what we think is ugly, it has all been taught to us. And the same is for the people as well. Your parents, your family, your friends, your colleagues, etc., etc. Every person in this world has been taught what is beautiful and what is not. So, anybody judging you for how you look, or let's say for some feature that is not as per the current standard of beauty, is judging you not using their own logic, but by using the information that has been fed to them. Next is to remember that anytime somebody says something negative about you or how you look, A, they have a negative mindset, and B, they probably have the same feature in themselves and are insecure about it. The next point is to understand that you can actually be bloody attractive even if you're ugly, meaning even if you're not meeting some particular standard of beauty or any standard of beauty. The first thing that we need to do here is to actually understand what does being attractive even mean. What factors basically determine whether a person is attractive or not. There is actually an entire list of it. And physical appearance or physical beauty is only one of the many aspects. Let me give you an example here. Shah Rukh Khan, the very celebrated Indian actor, who I think probably 9 out of 10 people would consider to be really attractive, is not a conventionally good looking man. He does not have the conventional height of a good looking man, he does not have the conventional nose of a good looking man. Yet, a lot of us think that he's very, very attractive because it is actually a number of factors that determine whether or not a person is attractive. Another thing here is that there have been multiple researches and studies that have been conducted which actually prove that there are very high chances that other things that you're very, very attractive. Rarely is a celebrity or influencer photo published without any retouching. Public figures actually have stylists, makeup artists, hairstylists, gym trainers, personal chefs, etc. at their beck and call, giving them an absolute advantage over the average individual. So, really, be a little fair and stop comparing your day to day self to someone's ultra polished version because it actually costs $1 million and an entire beauty army to look like JLo. People who take care of the basic stuff such as dressing up well, getting proper haircuts, smelling good, working out, sleeping well, and eating well, which basically contributes to them having glowing skin and basically an overall happy personality. These things can really make an individual attractive, and grooming really has the power to take your attractiveness from here to here. They say if life is a race, looks will help you in winning only sprints, while a good personality helps you in winning long marathons. Now, this isn't just a saying, there actually are studies that go on to prove this statement. A study conducted by Psychology Today found that 70% people consider personality to be more important than looks in a person. Another study by Harvard Business Review showed that personality plays 90% role in making relationships strong. And a study by the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that the personality of attractive people is more important than their physical appearance. So if good looks are not your forte, make your personality your strongest suit. Because a bad personality can make even the most beautiful face seem unattractive. Another very important point to consider here is that even very beautiful people are plagued by feelings of insecurity and not being good enough. So if even such people think that they are, not good enough, then it only goes on to show that the problem is not with the people, it does not lie with the people, but rather the standards of beauty that has been set within our society today. Your problem is that you are focusing on the wrong things. You need to train yourself to focus on what is good about you and in you, and actually make the most of what you have, both in terms of physical appearance as well as, other aspects of you. There are days when I feel super confident and attractive, and then there are days when I feel like the Google definition of ugly and absolutely miserable. In both instances, my face and body are the same, and the only thing that's different is what I'm focusing on. The more you focus on what's good in you in terms of your looks as well as your personality, the better you feel mentally and emotionally. The better you feel, the more likely you are to take care of yourself and your physical grooming, which make you feel more positive, confident, and attractive. This energy is then sensed and picked up by those around you, and they notice your best features, perceive you as attractive, and are drawn to your warmth and energy. Because how you see yourself is how others see you too. You see, your self perception and confidence have the power to actually influence how others perceive you and respond to you. So just take a deep breath, stand tall, and own your worth. When you believe you're enough, the world will too.